Good evening. I'd like to call the Winterville Town Council meeting to order. Today is Monday, November the 10th, 2025. The time is 6 o'clock. Tonight, our invocation will be given by Pastor Mike Atkins from Open Door Church, and following that, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would you bow your heads with me? Lord God, we're thankful for today. We're thankful for another day that you have made. And so today we choose collectively together to rejoice and be glad in it. We're thankful for every official here today, God, that you have placed here. We know that authority placed by you is to be honored because of you. And so we thank you for what you're doing in our city, in our town, and how you're building it up. And Lord, today we just want to make sure that we are careful to give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory for what you're doing. It's in Jesus' name we pray, and everyone said, amen.
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 Thank you. Will you please stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, good evening again, and I'd like to again welcome everyone. We have a nice crowd here tonight for our November meeting. Good to see everybody out. I want to thank Pastor Atkins. I think he might have stepped out from Open Door Church. He's new to our area, and I met him and I asked him to come out. So with that being said, and then we'll move on to our roll call. If you would get your clicker. Roll call is completed. Everybody's here. Next up is approval of the agenda. Is it any changes?
Mayor, members of the council, you do have one addition to public comment, and that form is at your seats.
Okay. You didn't get one? Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You need it? Okay, all right. Okay. All right, with that being said, is anything else? If not, can you use your clicker to vote, please? Huh? Oh, that's true. I'm sorry.
Second.
Who made the motion? You? Okay. Motion made by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilwoman Dr. Brandon Harrell. Any discussion on that? Not, use your clicker. All right, passed, unanimous. Thank you. Y'all keep me in order. Next up is our proclamation, Mr. Harvey.
Yes, we have 3 proclamations tonight. And the first one is a World Pancreatic Cancer Day, which will be November 20th. It was in your agenda packet, and they will be receiving a copy. They do not have a representative here tonight. The second is a proclamation honoring Sam Jones Barbecue. And I'd like to read that, and then we have some people present that we're going to have a copy for them.
Right.
Whereas Sam Jones Barbecue has received numerous accolades through the years, and whereas Sam Jones Barbecue opened on November 10th, 2015, located at 715 West Fire Tower Road, Winterville, it shined in a USA Today poll, earning accolades for its Eastern North Carolina barbecue. Readers of USA Today voted the restaurant second in its 10 best Carolina-style barbecues, which included joints from across North and South Carolina and apparently even Virginia. And whereas co-owner Michael Letchworth was named the 39th recipient of the Small Business Leader of the Pitt County Chamber of Commerce of the Year for 2025, Letchworth, who is a lifelong Pitt County native, has been instrumental in building one of the region's most recognized restaurant brands. As co-owner of Sam Jones Barbecue, Letchworth will help to grow the restaurant to become both a local favorite and a nationally acclaimed destination. The recognition recognizes individuals who demonstrate outstanding leadership, business acumen, and community involvement while contributing to the growth and vitality of Pitt County's small business community. Whereas North Carolina Barbecue Hall of Fame inducted Sam Jones Barbecue and Skylight Inn Barbecue into the inaugural class in March 2024, and whereas Visit NC Award named Sam Jones a Winner's Circle Award in March 2024 for his contributions to the North Carolina's culinary tourism industry for his contributions, and whereas Sam Jones was a semifinalist for Best Chef in the Southeast for the James Beard Foundation Awards in 2018, and whereas Sam Jones published the cookbook Whole Hog Barbecue, The Gospel of Carolina Barbecue with Daniel Vaughn in 2018, and whereas the restaurant has been featured by Our State Magazine, Southern Living, Garden and Gun, the New York Times, GQ Magazine, the Travel Channel, the History Channel, and the Food Network, solidify its place among America's most best barbecue establishment. Sam Jones Barbecue also supports local charities, youth programs, and community and education initiatives that help promote Pitt County's culinary heritage and small business ecosystem. And now, therefore, I, Richard E. Hines, Mayor of the town of Winterville, hereby honor the contribution and legacy of Sam Jones Barbecue to the town of Winterville and surrounding area. In the witness whereof, I do set my hand and cause the seal of Winterville to be affixed this 10th day of November 2025.
Mr. Mayor and fellow councilmen, thank y'all, and councilwomen, excuse me. Thank y'all so much for recognizing us. I would like to recognize who is with us, with Michael and myself, our general manager, Nick Hayes, in the blue, Aaron Jesmer, and Marshall Stafford, all raised right here within a baseball's throw where we're standing. And we have received a bunch of accolades over the years, but it's always nice when the home team roots for us. I don't think no sports team likes to score or hit the home run and look over and see their teammates humdrum. We look at things when we're featured in something or when we're chosen. Yes, it's good for us, but it's good for our community. It's good for our region. It's good for the state of North Carolina. So thank y'all so much for tipping your hat to us and being so kind, and for 10 years ago today, as a matter of fact, welcoming us to this community. And we said then that we wanted to be a strong thread in the fabric of that community, and y'all have allowed us to do so. And I will follow up by saying we are celebrating our 10 years this coming Sunday at the restaurant, and all proceeds are going to go to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Eastern North Carolina. So we'd love to see each and every one of y'all and those in attendance here. Thank y'all again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have one final proclamation tonight, and one that is very important and near and dear to some of you here in this building and to our country and our state and our local government. And that is for Veterans Day, which will be tomorrow, November the 11th, 2025. Whereas our community has a continuing sense of gratitude to those who have given so much in the defense of the freedoms which we all continue to enjoy. And whereas on this patriotic occasion, let us all commit ourselves to the great need of fostering a spirit of redirection to the ideals that have served as the foundation of this great country. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whereas America has called on her men and women in uniform to protect our national security, to advance our national interests, to preserve our rights and freedoms. And whereas on Veterans Day, we recognize the men and women of our armed forces who have valiantly defended these values throughout our nation's history. And whereas on Veterans Day, we also remember those whose sacrifice ended in permanent injury or death, yet their spirit remains in continued preservation of our freedoms and the promise of liberty established as an example for all oppressed persons of the world. And whereas in honor of these dedicated men and women, we pledge continued defense of our nation so that our sacrifice will stand before the entire world as a tribute to the spirit and determination of people dedicated to the principles of freedom and democracy. Now, therefore, the mayor and town council does hereby proclaim November 11th, 2025 as Veterans Day in the town of Winterville, North Carolina. It calls upon our citizens to observe this day with appropriate manners in honor of veterans, both living and deceased, who have served this country so willingly to preserve the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy, to fly the flag and let our veterans know we appreciate their great sacrifice. In witness whereof, I do set my hand and cause the seal of Winterville to be affixed this 10th day of November 2025. Richard E. Hines.
Thank you, Don, and thank you to all the veterans that have served this country. Next up is our presentations. First one is a municipal grant award. Mr. David Horn and Kelly Andrews, if y'all will come to the podium.
Good evening, Mayor and Town Council. My name is Tristan Daughtry. I'm the Economic Development Planner here. Some exciting news we wanted to share with you all tonight. We were recently awarded a municipal grant sponsored by the Greenville ENC Alliance and Pitt County Economic Development in the amount of $19,000 to sponsor a rebranding and marketing initiative. This project is designed to strengthen community identity, improve communication, and enhance our ability to communicate with our residents and visitors and businesses. A professional marketing firm is going to be hired to do this work. This is how the funds will be utilized. I want to pass it over. We have David Horn with the Alliance and Kelly Andrews with Pitt County Economic Development to share a few words with you all.
Nice.
We're excited to see what will become of this. I know Tristan and the team here will be investing a lot of time and effort with the firm that you'll be hiring as well. And the idea behind our organization partnering with Pitt County to basically, Pitt County had been doing municipal grants for a long, long time. Our organization was created in 2019, and we took over doing that. Now we've come back together so we could double the amount of funds that we can make available to our municipalities. And all of our 9 municipalities, other than Greenville, are eligible for these. It's an important part of economic development in that the good that comes from this, the projects that have strong economic development components, it makes our communities more livable. The livability factor as we create more jobs is important. We could not be successful, and Kelly will back me up, without Winterville, because our growth rate overall in Pitt County as it's projected is going to be at a nice steady pace. We're going to have to keep more of our talent that's produced here, and we're going to have to attract more. And people want to live in wonderful communities like Winterville. So we're honored to be able to be in the position to award this grant, and we look forward to seeing the results of it. Kelly?
You've said most of everything I wanted to say, but I did want to say that we are happy to partner with you and to partner with the Greenville ENT Alliance so that we can, again, double the funds. I thought you were going to say double the fund, but we're going to double the fund and double the funds of the municipal grants. But the main thing is, besides the money, we wanted the towns to tell us what's important to you, not us dictate what it is that's important. So you came together and decided that marketing and branding was important, and we couldn't agree more. We think that's some of the best money you can spend to really showcase the town, the wonderful things you have, like Sam Jones. I'm going to pick up my smokehouse potato on the way home, and the many other things that you have in this community. So thank you for partnering with us, and we can't wait to see what comes out of this.
And also too, like to thank the Alliance for this award. Next up is the Winterville Chamber of Commerce, Ms. Rebecca Cabnis.
Thank you so much. Mayor, Council, I appreciate you guys letting me come here tonight and do this presentation. I've been in communication a little bit with Ms. Terry Parker, and in fact had a conversation with Mr. Johnny Moy recently that made me kind of start to think about what could I do to help you all have better tools and knowledge at your disposal about what it is our chamber does. So I feel like coming before you maybe twice a year or so to kind of present on some of the things that we have going on, what we're looking forward to in the future would be most helpful. So that's just kind of the goal for tonight. This last year, I've actually been working a lot more with students than ever before. I currently have 5 interns. So in doing so, when I'm doing this kind of onboarding process with these students, it's made me appreciate a little bit more from an outsider's perspective, from people who are not used to chamber work, these things that I kind of have come to learn as being basic things maybe aren't so obvious, if that makes sense. So it's kind of made me take a step back, and when I'm explaining to people what a Chamber of Commerce is or what our work looks like, kind of making sure I'm being a little bit more clear about those things. So I put some things in this presentation that a lot of it you all probably know, a lot of the people in the room probably already know, but just in case you don't know to ask these questions unless you know. So some of those things, this is across the board for all chambers of commerce. We're a 501c6 organization, so it is tax exempt, but it's a little bit different than a 501c3 or C4. That's again, across the board. There's a definition in here, it just kind of comes from, the IRS and how they kind of classify us. So I think an important part of that is it does usually, encompass a specific community, but it's not necessarily municipal lines. And then it being a membership organization. We're funded by membership dues primarily, and then we kind of, usually in our budget category, we consider it kind of non-dues revenue, but those are things like grants, event, advertising, sponsorships. Again, that's just kind of commonplace. So being an independent membership-based organization, being separate from the municipality that we serve, but being a collaborative partner is important. Being focused on businesses and the community vitality. I think not being bound by the jurisdictional rules, for one, it probably frees up my job a little bit. I'm glad I don't have to be super strict about that. But it means that we can be a little bit more flexible with those things, especially in the community that we live in, where you're looking down Fire Tower Road and you have businesses on one side who say, I have a Winterville address, but they're not really in Winterville. I don't have to obey those rules super strictly, and I'm grateful for that. So more about, the shared goals, right? That's what we look to. We talk a lot with people, and I have it in like a brochure. What are your reasons for wanting to join our chamber? Maybe that means you have a love for Winterville. Maybe it means you have a goal of moving your business here, because that's a very common one. Maybe it means you want to invest in the businesses here, in the community here, whatever that looks like for you. If you align with our mission, you want to support our program of work, you're welcome to be a member. So I think that's just kind of an important component. I do think that it's important to recognize it being separate from government. We have members that call on us to help support them in instances where maybe they need to come speak at a council meeting. They want us to advocate on their behalf for something. There are lots of instances that we're available for that. I've been in conversation with businesses as they're opening, they're getting maybe frustrated with certain things, they don't understand how certain things work, and they call us. We're here to support and help make that process easier. I have those contacts where I can make it a little bit simpler, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, this is what's going on. Maybe we need to play mediator, whatever that may look like. And on the flip side of that too, to be able to advocate for the town. That often is a thing as well. And I think it's important that we're available to kind of be this unbiased entity to do both things. On the side, getting specific into the Winterville Chamber, this is our mission statement. So it's to promote excellence in business and community, to unite local businesses to make a greater impact on the community they serve, and to improve the overall quality of life in Winterville. And a lot of that goes back into what Winterville's mission is, especially the quality of life aspect. When you're talking about a small town rural chamber, we're going to be not just focused on economic development, not just focused on businesses. We're going to be focused on community engagement as well. And in this community that we live in, the businesses that are here want to give back to the community. They want to be involved. They're seeking ways to do so, and not all of them know what those ways are. So that's one of my jobs, is to make sure that they have this information and this access available to them. One of the things, we have a statement here that we use in some of like our marketing tools that I think does a really good job of encompassing some of our work and what we represent. The Winterville Chamber of Commerce represents the spirit of Winterville: hardworking, collaborative, community centered, and future focused. We are an independent organization powered by the businesses, nonprofits, and partners who believe in this town. Our identity is rooted in service. We champion local businesses, support entrepreneurs, celebrate community traditions, and work hand in hand with the town to create a place where people want to live, work, and invest. Our members may span neighboring communities, but they are all connected by a shared commitment to Winterville's growth and well-being. So I do think that's a big thing that we believe in. A lot of what we do, we kind of point back to these things: advocate, connect, promote, support. Everything that we do fits in one of these categories. Just some of the core priorities of our chamber. Again, kind of going back to us being in a small town, the vast majority of our membership are businesses under 5 employees. By a lot of people's standards, these are micro businesses. There's a very large chunk as well that fits in the solopreneurs category, where they're single business owners, they don't have any employees. So we are very focused on catering to the needs of small businesses. That's our priority. Going back to our mission statement and part of the town's mission, to boost quality of life. So we just do things to help create and maintain that. Some of that looks like collaborating with the town. Some of that looks like, other organizations. So perfect person in the room is the Agreeable E&C Alliance. We've developed a better relationship with them over my time, and being able to work with other organizations in this region to support our collective missions. When you're working together, you can pull your resources, whatever that may look like, and you can be more effective. The Pitt County Arts Council at Emerge, the Winterville Historical and Art Society, these are all organizations that we partner with, and of course the town. So, as many of you may know, Chamber is led by myself. I'm the executive director. I'm the sole staff member of the Chamber, but my job would not be possible without kind of collectively, these are my bosses, the board of directors, but these are all volunteers. They all work in this community. They're business owners in this community. They're leaders in this community. And I think this is really important. They all have different experiences that contribute to, what they're able to provide, both for my job and supporting me and supporting the chamber as a whole. A couple of them are in the room, and I'm going to call them out. A very familiar face for a lot of you, because he's been on the board for a very long time, is Alton Wadford. And then we also have a little bit of a newer face, April Kelly. So these are a couple of our board members, but all of their contact information is on our website. Again, I'm the sole staff member, but their job too is to be able to support and advocate and communicate and collaborate, all those good words. So I think it's important that they're available as well. So I like to remind people of that, because if for some reason you would feel better about contacting somebody else on the board, that is perfectly acceptable and one of the things you're supposed to do. It's a snapshot of me. So this is me at the Watermelon Festival. Just a little bit about me. So I did start in this role. I was assistant director as of April of 2020 when my predecessor announced that she was retiring, and the board at the time accepted my position. And then I became executive director in January of 2021. Now, prior to that, I'd been volunteering. So back to our board of directors, our volunteers, I was on the board for 2 to 3 years prior to accepting this role. I like to say that I literally grew up in small business because my parents are small business owners, and they started their business the year I was born. So I very seriously grew up in that. And I grew up in Winterville. So I went to school at Robinson, Creekside when it opened. I lived in Cedar Ridge, so then I got taken over to Hope Middle School when that school opened, and I graduated from South Central. So I've always considered Winterville home. Growing up here, everybody knew my dad, and I was Tim Tyson's daughter. And now I've become, known enough that he is now Rebecca Cabness's father. So I feel like that's a really important nod. He's probably watching this and laughing too. So I love people. I love working with people. I love helping others. A million years ago in high school, I can remember having a conversation with my mom where she's like, what are you gonna do? What are your plans? I'm like, I have no idea, but I wanna help people. So now I get to do that. And I get to help small businesses. My parents chose to move their business to Winterville because of the Winterville Chamber. Now, this was long before I was involved with the Chamber, but that's part of what keyed me into a Chamber of Commerce and the power of their work. So I'll give them that nod there. This is just a glance. We do, an annual report. This is just kind of a glossy summary of what we did in 2024. Now, of course, we're coming towards the end of 2025. One of these will be released in February for 2025. But since I've been in this role, every year we see an increase in the number of new members that we gain in the member engagement, which I would argue is even more important than the new members that we receive, in new programs that we've developed, which I am extremely proud of. I think is a very important component that chambers aren't just event-based, right? We have programming that's really important. And then the local recognition and online reach. If I had to choose our biggest problem, if I had to choose one, it would be not enough people know that we're here, right? So slowly but surely getting out into the community and making sure people know who we are and what we do. So here are some things that I just want to highlight for some recent milestones, including a funny one. So you'll see a failure up there because I feel like it's important to admit the things that flop just as well as the things that succeed. So actually Tristan, I think one of the first conversations we ever really had together, she came to my office and we talked about an idea that she had to do like a passport game. We did small business bingo. And it did not go super great. We didn't get a whole lot of engagement. We were doing, paper and stamps and, trying to do this whole thing. We're trying to do it in collaborate, along with Small Business Saturday. And I think it was just too much to try and coordinate in that time frame. It did not go super well. But instead of us saying, we've tried it, it doesn't work, we're not gonna do it again, we were like, what could we do better? How could we make this work? So for one, it being app-based, something that's online, accessible was a big part of it. We had Greenville E&C Alliance actually sponsored that event. So we did this scavenger hunt. We did it over the course of the summer. We just completed it at the end of October. And I would like to say that it was a big success. I'm very proud of it, very excited. A couple of highlights in it. So it was a scavenger hunt that teams could participate in. So we had 63 teams play. The teams could be up to 3 people. We had 377 submissions, so those were the tasks of going to businesses, checking in at Movie in the Park, going to the Watermelon Festival, finding an item in a business, and we had 24 businesses participating. So that's separate from, the tasks that festival or the town or the chamber had up there. So I was very, very excited with that first go round. We did numerous TV interviews, radio interviews. We were all over everywhere talking about this, getting businesses to participate, literally knocking on doors, getting on people to participate in this. Those who maybe I hadn't spoken to before, obviously we send it out to our membership, but I was trying to get as many people as possible to get on this board. So I'm very excited and proud of how that went, and I'm looking forward to us doing it again. So we're definitely planning on doing that again. We also successfully hosted our first market on the square that had a beer garden, as you all are well aware. So that was kind of a big accomplishment for us, dipping our toes in that water and seeing what that would be like, what the community felt about that. The response to that was positive. Everybody that was there, we had a lot of conversations with people present to see what, how they felt about what we did, the turnout that the businesses felt like, the vendors that were present. And overwhelmingly, people felt positively about that. So I was excited about that. We also surpassed our sponsorship revenue goal for the first time ever. So I was extremely proud of that. We hosted our first golf cart parades, which was a lot of fun. But again, looking at things creatively, getting community engagement. We did one for Memorial Day and one for Halloween. I have to say, I think the Memorial Day one is really where the preference was. You live and you learn. Have a lot of fun with that, and we'll definitely bring that back. And we secured 3 new grants or scholarships this year. One being, we received a grant from the Pitt County Arts Council at Emerge, their grassroots grant for our Market on the Square series for live music. We actually were told we're getting that again for next year. Also, the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives awarded me with a scholarship. I went to Philadelphia in July for a big convention there. That was a very cool experience to get to work with chambers from across the country, learn together with them, eat together with them, and do lots of things to kind of learn what other chambers in other regions are doing. And then we also received a grant from Southern Bank Foundation for our brew program. State of the Community Luncheon we hosted for the first time this year. And then our brew program, which was Building Resilient Entrepreneurs in Winterville, is our accelerator program. We partnered with PCC and the town on that. Again, we did receive a grant for that, but we had 7 graduates. So that's 7 businesses that launched through that program. So that's really important, and we are planning on doing that again. record high membership of 140, and a very boring milestone, but very important one, is our refresh. We did a big overhaul of our bylaws, policies, and procedures. We now have a code of conduct and a conflict of interest policy that our board members have to sign. Again, I know that's not the most interesting thing, but I think that those pieces are very important when you're talking about the foundation of any organization. So we kind of needed to modernize a lot of the language that was in our bylaws where they hadn't been updated in a long time. I think it had been over 10 years since our bylaws had been updated. So we needed to add in things that made sense, protected our organization, protected our members, those types of things. This is just a little summary of some of our town collaboration. I think it's really important us being able to work with the town. There's a lot of fun that we have in it too, as you can see. You know, the Market on the Square used to be something that the town put on, and then when you know, staffing issues were a thing and it was looking like the Market on the Square was not going to be able to continue, I was like, please give it to me, let's figure this out. But we needed to collaborate on it to make it possible. So that's been a big thing that we've done for a few years now. Glow Golf we did for the second time this year, which was a great success. Working with Parks and Rec is always fantastic. Fright Fest the same. I convinced our fire chief to let us host a coffee event at the Winterville Fire Department in October. So it was a networking event, but it was a field trip, and I definitely told people it was a field trip. So getting to kind of take a look at what, you know, their work looks like. They did some really cool demonstrations for us, sent people up in the ladder. Not me, because I was a little terrified of that, but that was a lot of fun to be able to take a look at that and give business owners the opportunity to see what the community fire department does, right? We did a skeleton adoption event with the Winterville Police Department where you could go during the month of October and adopt a skeleton. You can see in that top left photo, if you look closely, there's a skeleton in the fire truck. So we got a lot of community engagement out of that. That really surprised me how many people were interested in that. We were like running out of skeletons. I was not expecting that. So next year we're planning on doing that again, but maybe engaging the businesses a little bit more, maybe bringing in that scavenger hunt component with that event. We help fundraise for Shop with the Cop program. We do the Christmas market side of things where the town is doing the tree lighting and the parade. And then we do a lot with the Economic Development Department. Economic and business development, you know, there's Venn diagram of our jobs, right? So where that overlap is, us being able to collaborate, go to events together, advocate for Winterville together is very, very important. And this is just so you guys are aware of some of the things that are coming up so you can take note of what's ahead. So our annual celebration and community awards is December 10th. One of our award categories is Public Servant of the Year. So in case you guys have not seen this announcement, we do have all of those people in the room right now who are the finalists for Public Servant of the Year. Mr. Johnny Moy, Mr. Chris Williams, and Miss Diane White are all finalists for that. So make sure you cast your vote. You can do that on our website. But our community award winners, they will receive their awards at that event, and it's kind of a recap of, you know, like our year in review. We do a Thanksgiving meals initiative. We typically feed around 80 families in Winterville. So I'm hoping to reach that goal again this year. Donations for that is probably down each year as people struggle more and more to spend those extra dollars. But we work very closely with Pake County Schools social workers in order to you know, pull off that event. We work with Lowe's Foods, we work with Sam's Club, lots of volunteers come together. If you have the time, you want to help us pass out some meals, we do it the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. The State of the Community Luncheon will be in January. We'll take a look at like economic outlook in Winterville and the region, how it all comes together. Again, we help fundraise for Shop with a Cop, and the Christmas market that's below that. We actually, all of the vendor fees that we collect for the Christmas market, we donate to Shop with a Cop. And then our accelerator program, Brew, we will be launching that. We'll be announcing applications opening sometime right after Thanksgiving. So it'll be about a month-long application period for that. And then we do a speed networking event, which is kind of like speed dating, but business, in February. And then in the spring, we do a student business mixer with Pitt Community College entrepreneurship program students and our business community. Taking a look at some of the current goals we have, flashing back to that foundation of our bylaws, our policies and procedures, kind of the next step there is our strategic plan. So I've been attending workshops and working with one of my interns to help kind of start in our strategic plan. I want us to have something in place for the next year, 3 years, 5 years. What is our chamber, looking towards? Some of that is, a program that I just got selected to participate in, which is basically professional development with some software involved in that, to look at like tiered dues, which allow members to choose to invest more in our chamber if they wish. We're pitching a leadership program that will have a youth component to it, and then also looking towards having our own chamber space. And then here are some photos that I think represent our chamber really well. Something that I'd just like to note, so serving as the chamber's director, in my opinion, is a responsibility. I take it really seriously. It's a role that I deeply value. Every day I'm working to support our business community, elevate Winterville's strengths, and create opportunities for growth. I have the extreme privilege of seeing how our businesses, volunteers, and partners shape the character and economic health of Winterville. So I'd like to ask the council to remain engaged with us, to stay informed, which things like this will help with, to be involved and continue advocating for our community and for our businesses. So this can take shape in simple but meaningful ways. Referring businesses that need support to the chamber, because that's one of our jobs, is to advocate. Showing up for our new businesses at ribbon cuttings, and serving as connectors in the same ways that I strive to. Making introductions, sharing resources, and helping strengthen the network that keeps Winterville moving forward. So I hope that this gives you guys a good kind of encompassing look at what our chamber does. Again, about every 6 months, I plan to come and show you guys some of the things that we have done, some of the things that we're planning to do, and give you all the opportunity to ask any questions, anything you need, but also feel free to contact me or one of our board members at any time if you have any questions. Thank you guys so much.
I got a question.
Yes.
Will you be involved in the rebranding?
No, because it's a separate entity. The chamber being separate from the town, we're not going to be under that umbrella.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Cavanis. Next up is our public comment policy. I'm going to read this statement. Excuse me. The public comment period of 30 minutes provide an opportunity for residents to comment on any item included in the agenda or to address the town council on any other matter related to the town of Winterville or an item included in the public hearing section of the agenda. Residents should address the council at the time the mayor invites the public comment on the items. No public comment may be made to the council during the meeting, except during the public comment period or as part of the public hearing. Individual speakers are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes, and no more than 3 speakers may address the council on a single matter. The town council may elect to take no action on the matter addressed by a speaker, may schedule the matter for further consideration at a future council meeting, or may refer the matter to the town staff for disposition. Copies of the town public comment policies are available in the rear of the assembly room. And tonight, we do have 3 people that have signed up, and the first one being Mr. Glenn Johnson. If he would step to the podium, state your name and address, please. You have 3 minutes.
Glenn Johnson, 459 Williamson Drive, here in Winterville. A slice of the good life. Mr. Mayor, council, and to all the gentlemen to my rear. Living in Winterville, what does that mean? What does that mean to me specifically? Well, I'll keep this brief. I did not know when I moved here in 2014 that I would meet 4 people from my hometown of Asbury Park, New Jersey, in addition to 2 individuals from Philadelphia, where I moved from. In addition to that, 2 people, one being a retired Maryland State Trooper. And I have a friend in Philadelphia who's anticipating moving here from Philadelphia. He's a lieutenant with the Philadelphia Police Department. At my advice. Also, I had no idea that when I moved here, I would be called upon for service to our community. I received a phone call. They needed an individual to represent Pitt County, and particularly Winterville, Greenville area. That was the Brain Injury Advisory Council, which I was appointed by the governor. In addition to that, I became a member of CFAC, Charlie M. CFAC, Consumer Family Advisory Council. I had no idea any of those things would happen, but I'm glad it did, because as I continue to share my story of my survival of my 2010 accident, where I was on life support in a coma for 2 years, and I share my story with first responders, and particularly police officers doing their crisis intervention training. And I included two things that I never shared with anybody before. The fact that when I was in a coma, I was cardiac arrest VFib, which meant that my heart had stopped. I had no electrical current in my heart. So when I added that to it, now I have a question that they asked me. Well, Mr. Johnson, would you change anything? And my reply is no. They said, well, why not? I thought an accident happened, there's nothing I can do about that. I said, plus, I am a resident of Winterville, where it's nice and quiet and comfortable. We treat everybody like family. You know, I talk to everybody, they talk to me. There's no ups and downs. And so finally, I want to tell you, I love being a part of a slice of good life. And part of all of you guys are family to me. And the acronym for family is, forget about me, I love you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Next up is Mr. Ross Peterson.
Good evening, Ross Peterson, 2434 Cannon Road. Before I get going, I would like to say congratulations to Mr. Hines and Mr. Moore and Ms. Hawkins for your re-election. Looking forward some years ago. I see my time started, so I'll speak quick here. Thank you for your willingness to be a public servant and put up with citizens like me. As all are aware, I am an advocate bringing back weekly recycling that has been public service for decades up to last year. There were comments made that municipalities were going to be fine, but none have been. That recycling was going away, but thousands of dollars were invested to bring new technology to the recycling center. That the cost of collecting, recycling, and trash was putting a deficit of $1.2 million on a town, but when slashing half of recycling, it only saved $100K. What are our tax dollars supposed to be used for? I don't understand the thought process of collecting trash and recycling as a deficit. That is what our tax dollars are for. Then we pay a monthly fee on top of that. I have heard comments about making it self-supporting like an enterprise fund, but are we going to do that with all other services like recreation? So again, I ask myself, what is the purpose of our tax dollars? We were supposedly worried about the deficit of trash recycling, that we had to cut services after raising taxes, but then we turned around and gave a raise to council, gave funds away to nonprofits, supporting events that serve less than 10% of the population, and gave a generous raise to employees. Doing these things just seem wrong after raising taxes and cutting services. Now there's talk about a community center. This would cost the taxpayer, design and construction costs, ongoing infrastructure fees, staffing costs, and a never-ending need for maintenance. Will this be self-supported? The town has grown tremendously and is nearly out of growing room, all without amenities like a community center. There is a brand new facility on County Home Road with a Winterville address that our county taxpayers pay for, and it's a short drive away. There are lots of amenities next door, neighbors Greenville already has. Why do we need to compete when our tax revenue is limited? Should we not be more focused on development so we can gain income through property and sales tax? Should we not work with partnerships with the county or even the city of Greenville since they have the amenities? Or even partner with private industry that may have the funding? Which leads me to the town's strategic plan. We should be wise about the land that remains and how it's developed. We should be mindful of the ordinance and codes that we mandate on the citizens. So they are serving the citizens of growth instead of restricting citizen growth. Not all development ordinances and codes that are good for other cities and towns are good for us. We are a small town, and that's okay. Winterville was built and has continued to thrive on the concept of the simple life, a community of home ownership, good utility service, clean and safe streets. Simply, let's keep it that way. And in conclusion, I'm sorry, just real quick. In conclusion, outside of politics, I would like to give thanks during this time of season. I am thankful for this town I love, where I shop, eat, and do business at local establishments, worship at Winterville Baptist, attend and volunteer at local events like the Watermelon Festival. I am thankful for you, the mayor, and the council that takes time to serve this community. I am thankful for the utilities, the public works, the police, fire, recreation, and all those that work for this town to keep it going. I am thankful to live in a town, county, state, and country that I'm free and have the right to pursue happiness. And finally, I am thankful for the Lord God for all the blessings that he may continue to bless our little slice of the good life in Winterville, North Carolina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Manny?
Hi, everybody. My name is Matt D. Jesus. Lisa, Veronica, and Dr. Harrell, I know you're so happy that you got your same members back. That election, boy, it was outstanding. It was very good. The mayor brought us breakfast. The good cop over there gave us drinks and snacks. The people cleaned up the signs. I went over Winterville, this town was looking so clean because they usually leave those signs all down and looking bad. And we got some trailblazers. These trailblazers are really blazing the trail. Mayor Hines, you made history. A second term? Whoo, that is history. Johnny, you said 18 years, now you got 4 more years? Woo! Chantel. Chantel. Wow, I'm so excited. Look, I got my shirt on, everybody. That's a souvenir. Girl, I am surprised at you. I'm surprised that the number of people came out, too. That high number that you got, oh my goodness, that showed that you were doing something that the town liked, that the people liked. You know, Winterville starts with a W, it ends with an I, it ends with an E. And I said, I voted for you, Matt voted for you, but there's no such thing as Matt or I. It is W-E, we. We, the people, voted for you, a strong voice. We made the right choice. And we thank God for what he has done for you. We made the right choice. We voted for Chantel Hawkins. Hawk. The Hawk.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Jesus. I honor you and I appreciate those comments, and it is an honor to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Maddie. Next up is our consent agenda.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Robinson, second by Councilwoman Smith, to approve the consent agenda. Is any discussion before the vote? If you could, please use your clicker.
You go ahead already. You didn't do that.
Motion passed. Thank you. There's none in the old business section, so we'll move to the new business section. And Mr. Ron Mills, our articulating telescopic aerial device, better known as a bucket truck.
Right.
Is that correct, Ron?
Yes, sir. Good
Did I
afternoon.
hit the first word right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm looking for permission, requesting permission to purchase a AT-37G articulating telescopic aerial device, which is a bucket truck. This came in at 171,000, and we budgeted right at 175,000. The prices were using the Sourcewell contract, and I'm looking for permission to purchase.
I move that we approve the purchase of the All-Tech AT37G bucket truck.
Second.
Have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilwoman Dr. Harrell, to approve the purchase of the bucket truck and like short terms. All right. Any discussion on that? If none, please use your clicker, please. Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Ron. All right. Next up, Mr. Anthony Bowers, is Resolution 25R dash.
Mayor. Wait.
All right.
Really quick.
All right, all right.
Got to go.
Take a 5-minute recess, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's water I've been drinking.
Okay, all right. Call the meeting back to order. Mr. Bowers?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, members of the council, tonight before you, we have a resolution requesting NCDOT to relocate the center line on Main Street. This section is located in between Mill Street in front of the businesses over to Railroad Street. So a little bit of history. Councilwoman Hawkins has requested that NCDOT look at making changes on Main Street regarding the parking on the side of the road for several months historically. The concern was based on the effect the parking was having and the congestion created as a threat posed to motorists. And so this section, again, is only from Mill Street to Railroad Street. NCOD reviewed the area as requested by the town. They determined that the parking spots adjacent to the businesses were deemed to be within standard. And so they basically gave us three options at that point. One option, they did determine in their review that there was enough room to move the center line over almost 2 feet so that it could get the motor vehicles on the eastbound lane a little bit further away from the parked vehicles, giving them a little bit more space. The other option is the town can still request a resolution for the parking spots to be removed. But again, you know, that particular item was not deemed outside of the current standards for NCDOT. And then the third option is to leave it as it sits today currently, you know, with no change whatsoever. So tonight we have a draft resolution. If the council seems inclined to relocate that center line over to the north, which would give, again, more traveling lane in the eastbound lane as you leave Mill Street headed toward Railroad Street.
Anthony, do you want to bring up what was discussed in the agenda review meeting on Thursday? About looking at the right-of-way on the other side where the...
Yes, there was also conversation in the agenda review meeting that the vehicles parked in the parking in the car lot are really close. They're on the NCDOT right-of-way. And so we will be reaching out to NCDOT to see if anything can be done about those vehicles that are parked there as far as the proximity they are to the street. And if we can ask them to move them back a little bit to get them away from it, to kind of make it feel like it's not so congested in that area.
Prior to any of the, well, first of all, yes, I would like to move that we accept the resolution for requesting NCDOT to relocate the center line.
So I'm just, so you making a motion?
I'm making a motion.
So you put it in, put it in a form of a motion.
So I would like to make a motion to accept the resolution presented to request that NCDOT relocate the center line on Mill Street, on Main Street from Mill through Railroad Street. Is that what you said?
That's correct, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Does that take into account investigating the right-of-way?
You can't,
Okay, we'll wait.
either we need a second or
Okay.
then I can go to discussion. But right now, we got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all right. We have a motion and a second. We have a motion that we remove the lines over as requested by DOT.
Recommended.
Recommended by DOT. The motion was made by Councilwoman Hawkins, second by Councilman Moy. Now discussion, if you want, now go
Now,
back to.
Does that motion take into account the investigation of DOT enforcing their right-of-way? You know, where those cars are, that car dealership, those two roads there. Right, NCDOT has a right-of-way there that I can't see them using that right-of-way. Seems to me like the cars are on the right-of-way.
What I would like to say is the lane in which I'm speaking of, where the parking spaces are opposite than the right-of-way. Are you talking about the car dealership where the cars come out in the street? That has nothing to do with turning onto a Main Street. Am I correct? That even if they investigate it and tell them or ask them to move their cars back in this clear space, what does that have to do with turning onto the street where there's parked cars and you have to drive over a double line? I mean,
Sure, the only thing I can think of would be maybe some sight triangles, some visibility issues if you're turning left, if those cars are right on the edge of the road, seeing oncoming traffic. But I do feel like we can do both, you know, as.
I think both would help with visibility. I would like to share as a caution, if this is not voted on, which it probably won't be, and that's fine, I would like to share that I have used my voice in terms of caution. It is not if, but it is when, because everybody that turns on that street has to ear towards the double line, and to simply move the center lines over some is more help than hurt. So that's what I would just say to the council.
I'm assuming that if you move the center line over, that would, either way, you can move the center line over. But if the right-of-way was enforced, that would still give you more room. You know, crooked line, if it goes that way, you know, a little bit, then it's giving you more room on this side when you make that turn. Yes, it is difficult making that turn when cars are parked there. You gotta watch out for them. I agree with you 100% on that. So, I don't see where, you know, we don't need it. You know, I see where it may be needed, you know, by us.
Yes, ma'am.
Anthony, is this a situation where it can be a both and, or it has to be an either or?
Yeah, I mean, I would have to defer to, I'm not 100% sure on NCDOT's regulations when it comes to what kind of enforcement action they have within their right-of-way. The gentleman may be within his rights to use every bit of that right-of-way, especially considering there's not a sidewalk there. If there was a sidewalk there, that may change things. But as of right now, I mean, it's not gonna hurt to ask NCDOT what this situation is when it comes to that right-of-way. As far as the draft resolution, including that, I mean, we could either modify it or we could bring back something separate at a later meeting that would entail whatever investigation. So like basically under this scenario, we reached out to NCDOT, asked them to investigate it, and then we came back with a resolution. I would recommend if everybody, it sounds like people are somewhat in favor of this at the moment. However, if we want to come back with some sort of resolution based on the investigation done by NCDOT on what can be done in that right-of-way, then we can bring back that at a future date.
I thank you so much for that. And then with consideration of possibly having that right-of-way freed up some, that would help. It would even help if the lines are moved over towards him with some of freeing it up. The intention in asking for this is public safety. That's it.
Okay, now you have.
I just had a quick question, just for information. Was there any indication of like timeline once the resolution was done, process, how long the road would be closed? Oftentimes when you move lines like that, are they gonna cover up the existing well so that people are not confused?
Essentially what they'll do is they'll come in and grind off the current lines. Like, so if you notice recently, they did relocate the stop bars on Mill Street. They moved those back about 5 feet. And so they did that by grinding off the current thermoplastic, and then they came back and relocated them. So that would be the same process. You will still see where they ground off where they milled it off the asphalt. There's no way of getting it off without milling. So it's be a very shallow mill, and it won't be as obviously as bright as the yellow thermoplastic or paint.
All right, if you could please get your clickers and vote, please. Motion carried. Thank you.
And we'll certainly make sure NCDOT is aware of that situation and see whatever kind of feedback we can get with with regard to the right-of-way on the north side.
Thank you.
Do I need to make a motion that we ask them about the right-of-way?
We haven't operated under that premise before, so I mean, that's up to the council, but, you know, this request came from Councilwoman Hawkins.
I mean, it's just a request.
Right,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
you.
we'll handle it the same way we
Same, you know,
Okay.
you don't have to have a
handled
motion
my
on it.
request.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
Next up is other agenda items. Speeding on Mill Street, residents and driver safety. Councilwoman Hawkins.
Good evening. I just wanted to bring up speeding on Mill Street, as this poses a safety hazard to the residents, many of which who are elderly, some of which are young children. I brought this to the attention of Chief Williams on July 14th, and it was shared that he would direct patrols. I would like to know what the results were, because I brought this again to the attention of Chief Williams on September 20th. He did share that he understood the concerns and would look into some other methods. Over the past few days, I have noticed I guess like a speed monitor, but that is prior to getting to the always stop sign. Speeding is happening prior to you get to the always stop sign and down my street. When you get closer to Main Street, the speed limit goes from 35 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour. So my question is, Chief, if you could please share with me what efforts are being made, because speeding continues on Mill Street. And I would like to know what we can do to ensure that this is being watched and that the residents, especially our elderly, our young, and those of us who are in our homes, are safe. Thank you.
Well, of course, Councilwoman, your concerns are our concerns as well. We don't like people speeding in town any more than you do. There are we recognize that there are speeders on Mill Street. There are over 300 named streets in Winterville, and almost probably all of them we've had a complaint of speeding at some point or another. So we try to be mobile in our efforts. The signs that you just spoke of, if you noticed, the ones on Cooper Street and Main Street flash the speed as you go by. The ones by your house do not, because all they're doing is recording data. So they can tell us after a certain amount of time, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever. And happy to revisit that with you when we have more data. It can tell you how many cars have been through there, what speed they were going, what time they came through. That allows us to collate data and draw a picture of when it would be smart to patrol there. Because as you know, we're not a large department. So being in one place for one specific amount of time for a long time, that really needs to be planned, not haphazard or accidental. And so that's why those signs that you see there at your house. I will say that in the last 30 days on Mill Street, we've taken 40 law enforcement actions, resulting in 8 citations, 2 vehicle searches, and 18 written warnings. So we are out there, make no mistake about that. But when we are not out there, people take it upon themselves to, unfortunately, drive unsafe. And so we are trying to find a way to limit that best we can.
Chief, thank you so much. You said that you're collecting data, like the days, the times, and you said after 30 days, you'll have like a...
Yeah, so you want as much data as you can get to draw a picture, right? Just like when you're teaching somebody, you want as much information as you can have before you try and narrow that down to a decision. So the longer we let the signs sit there, and that's one of the reasons we left the blinking speed off. We don't want that affecting people's decision to drive the way they're going to drive. So we will continue to increase our patrols in that area, but also using the signs. Every time a car goes by there, it's clicked, there's no pictures being taken. It says a car has gone here. It measures the time that the car went through, the speed that the vehicle went through, but that's all it says. It's, yes, there was a car, it came through at this time, this is how fast it was going. So when we look at that across 30 days, and we look at, I don't know, from 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when it gets really busy over there, and we find out that even though that's busy, the congestion keeps speeds down, so I don't really need an officer over there. However, you go to 10 o'clock at night where there's really no traffic, it's dark and people shouldn't really be speeding, that's when everybody's flying through there, so that's when I need to have an officer there. And that's what that gathering of data allows us to do in law enforcement efforts, so it's smart, not haphazard.
Thank you so much, and I'll be looking forward to a report. I will find that most of the speeding is in the evenings and on the weekends, back and forth. This adds to noise, and I know we're on a busy, highly traveled street, but it's the noise, it's the revving, and all of my neighbors, most of my neighbors are elderly as well as children. So I thank you very much for looking into it, and I look forward to seeing what we can do.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Good, thank you.
May I piggyback on something more holistically as we're talking about speed, if you don't mind? We have been taking a large townwide look at particularly the speeds within subdivisions. As some of our new subdivisions are coming on board, I don't know that speed limits per se are getting set for what should be the speed within some of these subdivisions. And 35 is, I think we would all agree, way too fast. So staff's starting to take a look at posting and having council approve speeds for these neighborhoods that don't currently have council-approved speeds within the neighborhood so that we can enforce them accordingly. But this is gonna be something that we bring to you in the next couple of months to try to true up, if you will, what the speed limits are across the whole town.
Thank you. Next up is number 2, Winterville Dollar Tree exterior landscape and groundkeeping. Councilwoman Hawkins.
Yes, and so just looking at number 2, number 3, and number 4, those are going to be really quick. Number 2, Mayor, is with regards to trash, debris, grass not being cut at Dollar Tree. I've gotten so many calls about it, concerns. I've gone in, I've spoken with the staff, and I will be in a meeting with the store manager. There's not a lot of frequency in terms of them coming and cleaning it, but I did this with regards in respect to consumers that are going there who deserve a clean area to shop and one that is well maintained in terms of landscaping. So that is something I will be working on, and I wanted to just bring that and let the people know of Winterville who have had concerns that this will be worked on. And number 3, I've been in contact with the, not the president, but the executive under the president of Pitt Community College in terms of quest for additional trades, and we will be meeting again. This is ongoing where we're trying to utilize the Greenville site down Memorial Drive for additional trades. So then also I wanted the people of Winterville to know that this is not going dormant, but we are still meeting on this. And then Mayor, number 4, Hillcrest Park commemorative plaque. I brought this before the council in September, and I honestly need to meet and have more discussion with the Human Relations Board further. But again, it is very important that I keep the people of Winterville informed and that this has not gone dormant. And that is it for my items. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, items for future agenda and future work sessions. Number one is town strategic.
Actually, Mayor, I'm gonna handle all those. These
Okay.
are the placeholder items that I have been including for the last few months. In the process of trying to get together with the league to find out what their calendar is for 2026 in terms of the strategic planning, I'll call them workshops for lack of a better word. And I will be back in touch, hopefully, by January with the dates for the 2026 offerings. These are items that we need to set dates and times for town council to get together and discuss. Number 3 has pending accessory dwelling units. There's pending legislation in Raleigh that will direct us to approve accessory dwelling units. We will have the opportunity to put our, I'll call it local flair on our ordinance here in Winterville, but you will not be able to, if this passes, and Stephen, I don't know if you know where it is currently, I don't want to put you on the spot, but it has not passed that we're aware of.
Yeah, my understanding is it's been passed to the Ethics Committee for review.
So it's still under consideration.
Yeah, some consideration.
We will watch that. I encourage us to potentially hold off on this to see what's going to happen in the legislature, because in terms of whether we allow them or not, that answer may get settled for us, and then we can focus on what we would want locally. But again, we will just need to look at our 2026 calendar as the time is getting clear and close to try to set some dates.
And also too, right under that is, I had passed out the essential government, municipal government training, and as you know, every year it comes up, and it's ethics training for all of us. And the closest spot for us, unless it's someone else having, but the spots are January the 15th through the 16th is Asheville, January the 22nd through the 23rd is Wilmington, February the 12th through the 13th is Rocky Mount, and February the 19th through the 20th is Greensboro, and February the 26th through the 27th is Chapel Hill. But, you know, I would like to see all of us, if we could make it to the Rocky Mount one, I think it would be good, the central municipal government. I think then we can basically get our ethics done, and it's a good refresher for some of us that's been on the board for a while, and it's a good one for the new people as well. So these are dates. You can contact Don Harvey, and he can help schedule this if you can't make one of these ones. It's on this, well, which one you want to choose. I put it that way. If you're going to be in one of these areas, you may want to attend one of these, but I'm looking at February the 12th and 13th for myself, Don, and Rocky Mount. And that way I would get the ethics part of it as well. Okay. Next up is our announcements, and you'll see the attachment. Don, you want to hit the highlights for the announcements?
There are a couple holidays forthcoming. Of course, tomorrow is a holiday, and then Thanksgiving, the 27th and 28th, and I won't go any further than that because then we have Christmas and New Year's. We'll be reminded of those in next meeting. I would bring to your attention the Veterans Day event tomorrow. I understand that it's going to be inside instead of in front, so, and that is at 2 o'clock. And
Inside where, Don?
the fire department, I'm
Okay.
sorry. And then the other thing I would bring up is December 13th, we will meet again before that, but that is the Christmas Day here in town, as I sort of labeled it, putting them all together. The parade at 2, the market from 2 to 6, and tree lighting is at 5. So that'll be a fun-filled day for all, and hopefully everyone can attend. Be glad to try to answer any questions. We try to keep you updated on things. If you're not sure about something, do not hesitate to contact me, and I'll research it or.
Okay. All right, thank you. Next up is report from, I'm gonna start actually on this end down here with Councilwoman Hawkins. Go back the other way.
Sure. So I would like to first start out by thanking the people of Winterville for coming out on Tuesday, Election Day, as well as through early voting and casting your vote for me to continue serving you and speaking for you. There was 1,042 votes that spoke very loudly and in alignment with what Winterville wants, desires, and had the power to choose. I would like to say that I promise to never forget who have re-elected me, and I pledge to continue to speak for, by, and of the people of Winterville. Lastly, when asked by the news reporter, am I willing to work along with the council, I said, so as long as they put the people first. That I have never worked against the council, I have been opposed, I have been voted against, but it is not me, it is the people, because that is who I am speaking for. I would like to just end this by saying Philippians 2:4 says, let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also in the interests of others. I'm looking forward to serving the people here in Winterville. I'm looking forward to working with the staff, and I'm looking forward to doing God's will. And I would like to say to the veterans, as my grandfather fought in World War II and my dad served in Vietnam War, that we honor all veterans, and thank you for ensuring our protection. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to first say thank you to our staff. I appreciate all that you do every day, and the things that we do not see. I still appreciate you all for that. Congratulations to Councilwoman Hawkins, Mayor Pro Tem Johnny Moy on your reelection, and also the new mayor of Winterville, Mayor Ricky Hines. Congratulations. I also would like to, give honor to our veterans, of course. Thank you all for your service. Last update is an update about the Feeding Our Families Across Pitt County initiatives when it comes to the SNAP benefit advocacy. I was on a call today with the interfaith clergy and DSS and folks around Pitt County, and I just want to say, even though in Winterville, yes, this is an amazing place to live, we still have folks that are in Winterville, that are receiving the SNAP benefits. And with the government shutdown and the looming back and forth of receiving, not receiving their benefits, I want to make sure that as a town, we understand and we know what's going on. So I'll just provide you a quick update about the ongoing SNAP benefits advocacy and the Feeding Our Families initiative. So again, it supports the households across Pitt County, and we know that food insecurity remains a challenge for some of our residents here in Winterville. But I am pleased to share that our Boys and Girls Club of Winterville has stepped forward to serve as a central hub, basically sorting out and distributing the food boxes where the large pallets actually go to our Boys and Girls Club in Winterville. However, with that being said, they are in need of continuous donations and volunteers. In addition to those gift box, I'm sorry, well, they are gifts because it's food, but in addition to those food boxes, there will be gift cards giving to the residents that come out and, you know, want to receive the gift, the food boxes. As of today, through our town and our county's generosity, the United Way collects the funds, and right now that fund amount is at $46,130. That has been raised as of now, but again, donations are still needed, accepted. I want to continue to thank everyone that gives their time, resources, and voices to this initiative. Your support is not only appreciated, but it's necessary. So together, we want to make sure that no family in Winterville or Pitt County goes hungry during this time and thereafter. I have spoke with Town Manager Parker, and I sent her the actual donation link and app that will be distributed on all of our social media platforms and our town app. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Councilman Moore.
Yes. First, I'd like to say thank each one that came out and supported the election, especially the ones that helped me to be reelected again. I would like to say thank you so kindly from the bottom of my heart. Secondly, I would like to say, piggyback a little bit what Dr. Harrell was speaking of about SNAP. I purchased some of the food that they have at the Right for Revival Mobile Market, and it's very good. My wife was very excited about it when I brought it home. It does not cost that much. One of the things that they discuss is once you come in that, you know, if you have money, donate. But if you don't have anything, you still can take some things out. So there's options and there's opportunities that we can take advantage of during this period of time. And lastly, I'd like to recognize all of the veterans that we have, and I want to thank you so much for you supporting us, taking care of us through your tenure in your career. Even, you know, I have 4 brothers and my father, they're all veteran. I was the only one didn't go. You know, you're always gonna have one, but I thank God that we did have at least them had the opportunity to be in the armed force also. So again, congratulations and thank you. And tomorrow is your day to be recognized. And I just want to say again, thank you.
Councilwoman Robinson.
I would like to also thank staff for everything that they do, for the requests that I send in and get speedy answers for, and explaining stuff to me that I need an explanation of. Congratulations to the winners in the election, and also congratulations to the voters for taking that time to care about their community and who serves them, and to make that voice heard. I would like to ask our town manager if we could get a report on our low-income and middle-income housing. I have received several complaints about office hours, and that there are empty units, and they're not, you know, being filled. If we could get a report on that.
I want to make sure, are you talking about our urgent repair program?
No, Mideast. Mideast runs the low-income housing, don't they? Don't they administer it? They administer the one behind Robinson.
They do. I don't have a report. I'm not familiar, but I will find out.
Yeah, so we could get a report on that.
Absolutely.
And let them know that there are people who would like to apply, but they don't, you know, of course, the office hours or whatever and everything. I also would like to know why there's no community room around there for them to have gatherings, but of course, that's another area.
I'll make sure I check into that and have a report back to you.
On this Saturday, Mount Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church will have its annual community dinner and give away. We have lots of food. We're willing to serve you a hot dinner, and there's no cost for that. And this is our annual thing. Also, Mr. Willard Joyner was nice enough to build those blessing boxes that are around town. There's one in front of Mount Shiloh, there's one by the library, and there's one down by the Christian church. If you don't believe people are getting that food out of there, you put something in there one day, and you come back in about 3 hours, it's gone. The one in front of our church stays empty. I'm seeing people stop there with their cars, get out with bags to just take the things out of there. Spaghetti, beans, those ramen noodles, you know, get lots of those donated by people at our church. And I like to ask our citizens here in Winterville, in response to the SNAP benefits being delayed, to please, if you can't do anything else, take a few items to those blessing boxes, put them in there, and help someone else. We don't know what the condition is that they are in, but we do know that there must be a need for them to do it. So that's the end of my comments.
Thank you. Councilwoman Smith.
As we enter the season of Thanksgiving and Christmas, I hope that we will always remember, not just during the season, but always, we should treat each other with respect and kindness and love. I thank, as always, our staff. I thank you for the monthly reports that you send us. Oftentimes, I am overwhelmed and amazed at the work that is done behind the scenes to serve our community. We are very grateful for that, and don't just wait till Veterans Day to thank a veteran. Thank them every day, as everybody who came out to vote did and exercised that right. This is due to people who came before us and who have fought for our rights. Thank you every day.
Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no report per se. I would like to thank the council tonight for the adoption of the Veterans Day proclamation. Thank you very much for that. And remind everybody to fly your flags tomorrow. You fly them every day, but tomorrow I think it's a special day to make sure you have your flag out. Would like to remind the council that we do have a closed session for under two statutes, the A5, which is for the council to give staff guidance on negotiating perhaps the purchase of property, and also under A3, attorney-client privilege. Thank you, Mayor.
I did want to congratulate Mayor Hines, Mayor Pro Tem Moy, and Councilwoman Hawkins on your re-elections. Looking forward to working with you in the months and years to come. I do want to thank staff, and particularly our staff members who are veterans, and we have several of them, for their service and for their continued service to the community. I would also like to thank all of the veterans in total. My family has a long history of service, and my father in the United States Army, and I currently have my one and only nephew serving in the United States Marine Corps in Camp Pendleton in California. So thanks to everybody.
And myself, I also like to take this time to say thank you to all the voters that came out and put their support in to re-electing me again to be mayor of this town. Also like to thank Councilwoman Hawkins and Councilman Moy. They stood and braved the elements. Yeah, they did better than I did as far as the element was concerned. They was there, and you put in the work and you got the return. So I think that's what we need to remember. We put in the work. Now, we need to get the return back, to our citizens, like you said, Councilwoman Hawkins. And to all our veterans, especially ones that we see every day here in our town hall and on our town staff, me personally say thank you. To the veterans here in Winterville, I say thank you. As Councilwoman Smith said, we say it every day. Thank you for your service. And as y'all know, I'm a federal employee myself. I've been in hiatus for 40 days. Look like I'm getting ready to get off hiatus, but we can only pray. But if we don't, it's all good. We still gonna make it. And but just keep in mind, we all in this together. As I was talking to the citizens that was coming up to the polls to vote, I'm here. My door is open. My email is accessible. My phone number is accessible. We have public comment section. You can come in and express yourself during the public comment section in this chamber. But just be reminded, stick to the topic, and we'll get you an answer. With that being said, can I get a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion to move into closed session. Motion made by Councilwoman Smith, second by Councilwoman Dr. Harrell. Any discussion before we go in? If not, use your clicker. Motion carried. Closed session.
Well.
Come back into come back into open session.
I move that we go back into open session.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, please. All right, motion carried.
You got adjourned.
Yeah, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
You're all over it.
Everybody made a motion. Use your clicker. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Y'all did good.
What you doing for Thanksgiving?
Harmonize.
We do the same thing.